Beginning with a plan set in motion before finishing his schooling, John Weberg opted to educate himself for life as an entrepreneur, with the objective of earning money to finance his own efforts to help the poorest of the poor in the poorest nations of the world. Then he and his wife, Jackie, obtained a small loan from his father to launch a furniture business which eventually grew into 33 stores. As an entrepreneur himself, John embraced the concept of microfinance to enable others to help themselves and enjoy the same personal pride and satisfaction of creating a viable business to support their families. This couple made their first donation to Opportunity International in 1986 for $2,000. At that time, we were starting new programs and private funding was critical. Over the years, and especially after their retirement from the furniture business, John and Jackie expanded their giving to microfinance, especially to Opportunity International. At one point, the Webergs donated space in the Denver furniture warehouse so that we might house our IT support center for our global reporting systems. You see, John recognized fully the potential of technology to drive down costs of our services to the very poor, including those that live in the most rural parts of the world. Over the year, John appreciated Opportunity International's willingness to be transparent, to treat him like a partner, so he could help influence areas of growth and innovation. The Webergs were the very first to fund the mobile bank in Malawi. Because the Webergs, like the funds which helped the poorest of the poor, they have been granting funds for increased development in technology and especially in agriculture microfinance. Over the last 28 years, the Weberg family has consistently partnered with us to provide an astonishing $30.3 million in grant funding, which has generated more than 325 million loans to hardworking entrepreneurs across the globe. John and Jackie are the most humble people and were historically quiet about their giving. Still, they hope their support would serve as a model for others to expand this work, and so have given their name to an award which not only honors them, but many others that believe in this effort. To help me present this year's Weberg Award, we're so fortunate to have their daughter, Linda Lair, and Gail Bradley, advisor to the Weberg Foundation, and an Opportunity International governor. Linda and Gail, please join me.
On behalf of John and Jackie, their daughter Linda,
I'm right here.
over here,
We told you.
and the entire Weberg family, thank you for your kind comments, Vicki. But we're here to honor Mary Lynn and Warren Staley for their long-time interest and very significant contributions to Opportunity International. Mary Lynn is an active community leader and the former chair of Opportunity's Board of Governors. She and her husband, Warren, who recently retired as CEO of Cargill, have lived and traveled all over the world since joining Cargill, some 35 years they spent with them, I think. And so they've personally witnessed the devastating effects of global poverty and have also seen the positive impact of microfinance as a sustainable economic solution. Mary Lynn has traveled with Opportunity to Nicaragua and led numerous events as a tireless advocate and spokesperson for the organization. You know, A legend has it that when the Staleys were with the Cargill organization, no one left the company airplane without hearing from Mary Lynn about Opportunity International. She talked about her admiration for the organization, and she took her time to find a place for them to be active in Opportunity as well. Truly a force, I would say. Education is another one of the Staleys' passions. Along with their sister church, they're building the first high school for the poor in Kumasi, Ghana. They have helped develop the Center for Leadership Studies at Kansas State University. And over the next several years, the Staleys plan to continue their efforts in the developing world through microfinance, with agriculture and education as their primary focus. If you attended one of the breakout sessions regarding agriculture, you had an opportunity to experience Warren's wisdom in person. Warren and Mary Lynn lead with a heart for the poor and the vulnerable. They lead by example in their community, their church, and through their family. The Staleys' 3 children are all members of Opportunity International Board of Governors, and we're pretty sure their 7 grandchildren will be following suit in a few years. Warren is on Opportunity's Agricultural Campaign Task Force, and Mary Lynn serves the Education Campaign Task Force. They were both instrumental in securing the funding for the bank in Colombia. So Warren, as I mentioned, has the management skills of a successful CEO, so he's the first to hold Opportunity accountable, and that's a good thing, and I understand his guidance is greatly valued. So the Staleys have partnered with Opportunity for over 12 years with an open heart to serve. As you can see, they are part of the Opportunity International family in very many ways. They focus on their giving on empowerment, leadership, education, and transformation. And some would say that although Warren had a very successful career with Cargill, along with Mary Lynn as his life partner in this effort, their true legacy will be the work they've done in service over self. You know, as a side note, Mary Lynn was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year and had to go through numerous challenging treatments. Now, I know this really resonates with Vicki and really with all of us in this room because everyone has been touched by this dreadful disease. But we are thrilled to report she is cancer-free today. And in fact, she's planning a family vacation to, where else? Africa, to see the work of Opportunity International, Habitat for Humanity, and the school they've built in Ghana. Surely the Staleys' generous sharing of their time, expertise, and financial support are the embodiment of the spirit of the Weberg Award. So please join me in welcoming this year's recipients of the John and Jackie Weberg Award, Mary Lynn and Warren Staley.
Please, I'm going to get out of the way.
Why don't you walk over and move here? Go ahead, Lenny. You have to go. Congratulations. Oh, you're welcome.
No, we're impressed by your family's work and what you're a legacy of and continue to do. So thank you so much.
Vicki?
Talk about unscripted. I was saying that I was so impressed by this family and the legacy they have left. It is something to guide us all to, isn't it? Who would have guessed when her dad came and started that furniture company that it would lead to so many people all over the world being impacted? And all he did was use his talents to do what he loved best, to do it really well, and to share it. And I guess that's a message to all of us. What is it that's our talent? How can we do it the very, very best? And how are we going to share it? So we didn't need this, but it led us to you and to your inspiration. And so thank you so very much.
Like with most things in my life, I've kind of followed Mary Lynn around and took her lead, and it's worked out really well for me. And with Opportunity International, that's also the truth. Mary Lynn and I met in college. I went back to graduate school. She was teaching. And we got married, and 10 days later moved to Cali, Colombia. We got a grant through the Ford Foundation where I was going to work in a development bank. I'd never lived in another country, thought that was great. Mary Lynn taught school, in a bilingual school there.
30 seconds or less.
Now it's my turn now. So in Colombia, that's the first time we saw poverty, and overwhelming, and we said, what do you do about this? And I was trying to think about a global solution. How do you get your arms around it? And people there pretty well told me, nothing you do about it, forget about it. Later on, we lived in Europe, and then we moved to Argentina, and between Argentina and Brazil, we ran into real abject poverty, and pretty much the governments accepted it. Yeah, they were a little bit concerned, a lot of words, but nothing happened about that. And again, a very big frustration on our part is, what do you do about this? Well, what can we do about it? And fast forwarding, I came back, and I was traveling a lot. Our kids were growing, and Mary Lynn started going with me, and they were right about on the plane. I think there are a lot of recruits here in the room from some of those trips. And Mary Lynn would go say, I'll see you in a couple of days. I'm off to the hinterland, places like Ghana, for example, with Opportunity International. And then introduced me, and I started going to meetings. And after I retired, I started doing insight trips. And I want to tell those of you who are here and are interested in Opportunity or think you might be, and being a supporter, go on an insight trip. You will not understand the impact that Opportunity has until you go on an insight trip and see what goes on. And a lot of people talked about it. It's the look in their eyes, the smile on their face, that they want the very same things. So that's why we've gotten involved. And the last thing I want to say is, it is really important to me, it really matters a lot to me, that if I'm going to support an organization, that it's sustainable. And that it has the culture to be able to adapt, to change, if that means changing leadership from time to time. And it's very important to me that any of these organizations we're going to support are going to listen to the supporters, the clients, and change over time. And Opportunity has done that very, very well. It is a completely different organization, much bigger, much more successful, and I think now poised for the future going forward. And I would like to say thank you to Polly and Bob McRae, because they introduced us to Opportunity International. And I want to thank you to Lori Olson, who is our representative in the Twin Cities and keeps us well abreast of what's going on and has encouraged us to be more involved. So thank you, all of you, for doing that. It's been a pleasure, and we're very proud to be supporters of Opportunity. Thanks.